What is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade, basketball analysis, coming to you with a quick video today. We're going to talk about Doc Rivers being fired by the Los Angeles Clippers, a team that a lot of people had winning the NBA championship this year. A lot of people had them as the favorites, and they just didn't get the job done at the end of the day. They brought in supposedly the best player in the NBA, especially off last year, carrying the Toronto Raptors to an NBA championship and being the Finals MVP for the second time in his career. And he wanted to be in LA. He wanted to be with the Clippers. He felt like if he can get Paul George, that will be enough. Plus the roster that they already had, and then on top of that, you add in Doc Rivers, who is a coach of the year and a championship coach. Already, everything sounded good, everything looked good, and everything seemed like it was gonna happen. Especially because they was up 3-1 against the Denver Nuggets with multiple double-digit leads, and it looked like they was close, and it looked like we all knew it was going to be LA in the Western Conference Finals, and Kawhi Leonard Garden and being able to take over was going to be the reason why they would beat the Los Angeles Lakers, and it just was not the case as they went home before the Lakers, and they're in the finals, and the Clippers are not. And it is what it is. But when I look at this team, I tell people I don't really blame coaches for everything because players still have to do their job. They still have to score. They still have to make shots. They still have to play defense. And even though the coach are a big reason of why they're in them situations, why them lineups about there, the players still have to do their part too. And even though Doc Rivers did come short, some people felt like the Clippers with Chris Paul and Blake Griffin should have been able to win a title. They should have been able to get to the Western Conference Finals at least, and they never did. And people feel the same way about this team. And people was like, "There's no reason why the Clippers can't get there. There's no reason why. It's no reason why they should lose. The only reason why they should lose this year is if they lose to the Lakers. That's the ultimatum, and that's what people thought. And that didn't come to fruition as they fell to the Denver Nuggets. And you look at Montrezl Harrell. He was a six man of the year. He didn't play close to that. He was a shell of himself in that whole entire playoff run, including the seeding games, in my personal opinion. Lou Williams couldn't really buy a shot. He really wasn't as effective. He didn't really take over like we thought he would. Kawhi Leonard had one of the biggest disappointments in Game 7, the time they needed him the most. He didn't come through. And Paul George had a struggle against Dallas, who had no Porzingis, and guys wasn't prepared, and they still came close to forcing a Game 7, and they showed that they wasn't scared or didn't fear the Clippers, which you would think that everybody would coming into this year, and it just wasn't the case. As they didn't have the greatest offense, they didn't have the greatest defense, even though they had the pieces in the team to be able to do those things. And a lot of that does fall on inconsistencies. A lot of that does fall on rustiness and not being able to play together. But at the end of the day, you still supposed to get the job done regardless of the circumstances. So I'm not going to be here making a lot of excuses. I'm just going to say they didn't get it done. And I'm just going to be honest about that. And you even look at the fact that some of these guys didn't play up to their potential. And that does have something to do with coaching. Putting guys in the right situation, in the right spots where they can be succeed and be successful. But not only that, the players still have to make the shot. The players still have to be able to do their part, and they didn't do that throughout the whole playoffs. And I thought it was a matter of time. I kept telling people they need to take Denver more serious. They need to get it done. They need to put them away, and then they got put out because they didn't do that. They didn't have the urgency. They didn't have the fight. They didn't have the aggressiveness. They didn't have the hunger that you need to be a champion, and that's why they wasn't even able to get it done. But at the same time, you look at Doc Rivers' career in LA. He's been here year after year after year after year, and even though they had success, even though they did have multiple years making the playoffs in a row, they never even got to the conference finals, and they had some of the best rosters in the entire NBA. Now I know things factor in and things happen, and it's not going to be perfect. But at the same time, year after year, that can't continue to happen when you have enough talent to get the job done. And Doc Rivers didn't get it done, and they say, you know what, we need something new. We need to try somebody else. We need to see if we can get somebody that can take us over that hump that we haven't been able to do with Doc Rivers, and that makes perfect sense. And even though Doc Rivers had a lot of time and a lot of reasons, he just couldn't do it. And now it's time for them to move on and try to find somebody better, and that's going to be the question. Can they find a coach that's better than Doc Rivers? That's going to be the most interesting thing to see. And I don't really know no coaches that's available right now that I can see doing that. But then again, that's why you have to take your time and figure that out. And Jerry West and these guys are going to do that. And I can't wait to see who it is going to be because this team has a window. These guys are coming to their 30s or already in it. And these guys are going against tough competition in the Western Conference. So the West look like it's going to be even better than it ever been next year. Can you put together the roster and can guys stay healthy? Can guys compete and can guys get up for a lot of these games? And if they can't, they're going to be going home next year too with 1 year left. That's not what you want to see when you traded your whole future away for these two guys and they couldn't even get close to getting the job done if they don't even get to the NBA Finals. And that's something you do as a sacrifice to have a chance to win a title, but that's also the goal to do. And they didn't do it this year, and it's going to be even tougher next year. So when I look at this roster, they have enough, but do these guys want it enough? Do they put in the work? Yeah, but you have to do it on the court. And when I watched the team, every time I kept saying, like, this team against Dallas, and especially against Denver, they just didn't have that fight. They just didn't have that punch that you're supposed to do to these teams that's you're better than. And even if you're not better than them, you're supposed to put that effort, that fight, and that energy and just take it from them. Just because you want to be in that finals. You want to be the champions. That extra is supposed to come out of you, and I just didn't see it. And I see it in the Lakers. I see it in the Heat. And I said it even throughout the whole playoffs when I was covering them. And that's something that the Clippers lacked. They made it seem like they was already champions. They made it seem like they was supposed to win, and they never put the extra effort on both ends of the court, whether it was offensively or defensively. They just didn't have that pop. And you have to have it. You can't be relaxed. You can't be cool. You can't just sit back and think it's going to fall and land in your lap. You have to go out there and get it. These are guys that are supposed to be the dirty workers, the hard workers, the guys that do whatever it takes to get the job done. And they just didn't play that the whole entire season. They played like it was just going to come to them easy. And that's why they home and not in the playoffs right now. And, it is what it is. And at the same time, that has something to do with coaching, having guys prepared, having guys ready, and also have something to do with the people wanting it themselves. You have to put in the work, you have to go through the process, but you actually have to want it. And if you don't want it, it's going to go away, or somebody else going to take it, or somebody else going to appreciate it and get it themselves. And they didn't do that. And I really want to see if Kawhi Leonard wants to stay here because they do have the organization that's willing to put the talent to get them to a title. But do he really want to stay in LA more than just 2 years? He has a chance to opt out and sign more years. I think that he might do it, considering that they do have the organization and he do want to be in LA. But it's all about winning titles at this point for Kawhi Leonard. You're already one of the best players in the league. Now it's about how much dominance can you put over the league. And that's something that we have to see. I'm not giving in on Kawhi Leonard. Everybody fails, everybody chokes, everybody, don't get their goal accomplished throughout the whole world, regardless of who you are as a person. But it's about how you come back. It's about how you learn from your mistakes and how you learn from the lesson that you was taught. And can you come back and do even better than you did before? And Kawhi Leonard done won titles. He done got put out. He done got injured, and he done came back time and time again. And we'll see what him and Paul George do. They both didn't come through in Game 7. That can't happen if this is your duo. One of them will at least have to show up, and neither one of them did. That's not a good look. Lou Williams didn't show up throughout the whole playoffs. Montrez didn't show up. Patrick Beverly was injured, not playing, or he wasn't playing to his full potential. Or he was getting ejected, or he was in foul trouble. And this team can never get it right. They can never get it done. And that's something that you have to look into if you're an organization. What pieces do we need? What personnel do we need to get it done? And they don't seem like they have it right now when it comes to that it factor. And that's something they're going to have to find in wherever it is. And that's up to the organization to do that. But it's also up to the organization to put the right coach to get this team to where they need to be, which is in the NBA Finals with a chance to win it all. And they have to figure that out quicker than they wanted to because they thought that guy was Doc Rivers, but he didn't get it done. So that's where we're at right now, and I'm going to end the video. Check out my website, analysisplayground.com, link in the description comment section below. Check out my Facebook page, analysisplayground.com, link in the description comment section below. Like on Facebook to show support. Thanks for everybody that already did. Not only that, I have over 1,000 videos on my channel. So if you like this video, check out my other ones. If you like this video and you like the ones on my channel, subscribe. Also, like helps, and sharing helps me reach more people. The more people I reach, the bigger the channel can be. The bigger the channel can be, the better for me. That's a small thing you guys can do to show appreciation and love to the channel like you've been doing. Also, I do make content about draft, season previews, trade deadline for agency, top 10 list discussions, even, NBA breakdowns of players, legends, and rookies, and even summer league breakdowns and summer league coverage. So you love videos every day. This is a channel for you for the NBA. So other than that, I'll be coming to y'all with a video tomorrow. The NBA finals start. So, hopefully you guys subscribe and you guys keep watching. Quinn Wade, basketball analysis. I'm down.